Hey everyone, so today was pretty interesting. I actually, for the first time in a really long time, got back into jujitsu. It was something that I did a lot when I was younger, and I guess a lot throughout my life, but consistency was always difficult for me, whether it was because I had to move around a lot or I had a lot going on in my life. Keeping up with it, and specifically the particular gyms, was always challenging. And ever since I got back, I was sick, but I was starting to feel a little bit better. So I decided to finally go back to a jujitsu gym. I found one here. Well, technically, it would be more accurate to say my partner found one, and I started going. We're both going to start going together, but I went first. And the experience of going to jujitsu was pretty great, honestly. I will say that here it was a lot more difficult than I expected it to be. When I actually started doing the jujitsu, I guess I found out at first I thought I wasn't in good shape, which I could be in better shape, so that's kind of part of it. But as I was doing the jujitsu, I was having a lot of trouble breathing. And for those of you that don't know much about Peru, where I am, and the kind of climate in the area that I'm in, I am a lot above sea level. I think it's like 6,000 feet or something like that. I don't particularly remember the exact amount, but I am very high above sea level. So altitude sickness is something that people experience at very low levels here. If you go into the other cities where they're much higher than even here, there's clear altitude sickness that you experience. But on a daily level, you don't really experience it much. But I had forgotten about that. So I was rolling, I was practicing, and rolling is basically when you are actively battling someone else. You're kind of both trying to submit each other until either someone gets a submission or a lock or a point to where the fight is clearly over. So it was fun, but as I was rolling, particularly, I noticed I was having such a difficult time breathing. So I did 1, 2, 3 rolls, and on the third roll, I was like back on the ground, could barely breathe. Um, and that's when it hit me. First of all, I was sick not too long ago, so as much as I'm a lot better and able to do daily things like walk up and down the street and pretty generally keep a normal level of activity level, that increased level was rather difficult for me. So that was interesting. Also, I had forgotten the atmosphere here. There's less oxygen. Now, that's not a huge deal. It's something you can deal with. However, because I'm not used to it and I haven't been actively practicing any cardiovascular kind of activity since I've been here, I haven't really had the opportunity to increase my stamina in this environment. So, although at sea level my stamina might have been a lot higher than it is here, once I had not enough oxygen coming in, I just felt like I couldn't breathe. I was like collapsed on the ground. Actually, I was heavily breathing all the way home. So by the time I got actually to my house, which is a decent amount, it was a decent amount of travel. I still was having a heavy breath. I was like kind of coughing and trying to get oxygen into my lungs. I'm making this sound really bad. It wasn't that bad. It was really a good experience, but I just in my mind, I had built up this idea of what was going to happen, that I was going to do well, that I was going to be competitive, and I was, but I just sometimes the unexpected things get you sometimes. So that was rather interesting. Otherwise, I've pretty much been working all day on something well, actually now those videos will have come out. So I've been working on the Patreon, so the integration Patreon that I have coming out, basically to help people work through the things that they're facing in their daily lives. I offer coaching privately outside of YouTube, and I have limited space for clients, so I am working on creating a new space where I can really hold space for more people. And I was able to do that through this Patreon space. So if you're interested, actually, there's going to be a link in the bio down below. So check that out. It's going to have my Patreon at the very top. It's going to be the first link that you can potentially click on. Otherwise, if you check out, the video right here, it's going to be something that YouTube thinks is perfect for you. Otherwise, if you're not ready to jump into that Patreon group, but you do like what's happening here on this channel and hearing about what's going on in my life, right here, there's going to be a little bubble. If you click on that, it'll allow us to stay in contact and start to connect better as a community. I'll see you soon.